So I came across this clip of Douglas Murray besmirching Ireland for seemingly no reason. And it's a shame because I like Douglas Murray a lot. His book, The Strange Death of Europe, is one of my favourites. Douglas typically offers incisive and thoughtful commentary, but here he speaks with acrimony and is wantonly aggressive. We'll get into why in this video. They'll start off by talking about Irish band Kneecap, who are highly political. They're pro-Palestine, which is obviously going to irk the pro-Israel Douglas Murray.
You know where this appalling Irish band Kneecap, you know the name, where it comes from?
No.
Kneecapping was something that the Provisional IRA, the Republican terrorist group, used to do if they wanted to punish somebody without killing them. And what they would do was that they would take a gun and they'd put it to your knee and they'd shoot you through the knee so that you couldn't walk again. It was known as kneecapping. Mm-hmm. So this charming Irish band have named themselves after this terrorist trait.
You would think, Douglas, if you're gonna give the context, you might actually want to give the context. It's a play on words about a joke during the Troubles. Basically, two Irish guys see a British soldier. He asks, "Is that a British soldier?" And the guy responds in Irish, "Kneecap him," which means "I don't think so," but it also sounds like kneecap him. It's a joke. Relax.
But people should just know the context of them. These are just terrorist supporters, terrorist lovers.
I think this statement is fair enough. If you want to hate on Kneecap for that reason, go ahead. I don't really care for their music or their politics that much either.
As for the Irish obsession with Israel, which is part of the underlying thing of your question, I have to slightly subdue my anti-Irish bigotries. Joking, of course, but I mean...
You say that you're joking, but the absolute nonsense you're about to spew out to besmirch the Irish people in a moment is gonna suggest otherwise.
I want to hear Ireland talk about Israel. Probably last of all things in this life.
In this case, I understand where the sentiment is coming from. There are tons of people in Ireland who have the very simplistic perspective that Britain's historic occupation of Ireland is the same as Israel's occupation of Palestine, ignoring all the obvious context that the Jews were fleeing persecution. But Douglas Murray is not one to speak about ignoring context.
Ireland, never forget, during the 20th century, decided that in the war against Nazi fascism that it should be neutral. And it forbade its ports even being used by the Royal Navy in the fight against Adolf Hitler. And many thousands of British servicemen went to the bottom of the ocean because of the Irish people and the Irish government's obscene love of Hitler.
So Douglas Murray not being able to take a joke and accusing people baselessly of being a Nazi, it kinda sounds like Douglas is becoming a left-winger. And this is also completely ahistorical. And I know he knows this, but just to state the obvious, we didn't stay neutral because we loved Hitler. We did it large part because we hated you, the British, you stupid cunt. Remember the occupation, colonization? No, none of this ringing a bell? Intentional, forceful suppression and destruction of our culture? Nothing, no? Just go ahead and spit in the face of the tens of thousands of Irishmen that served in World War II, 70,000 estimated from the south. Over 3,600 Southern Irishmen are estimated to have been killed during World War II. But why am I asking a British man to care about dead Irish people? During World War II, Ireland, as a neutral country, was supposed to detain any airmen that crash landed in our country. However, in 1943, Ireland quietly released all of its allied internees while keeping the Germans incarcerated. We then helped them cross the border to rejoin the war effort. Kinda sounds like we're helping the wrong side if we're so Hitler-loving. You might as well spit in the face of Maureen Sweeney. She reported from Mayo of a low-flying storm over the Atlantic. Luckily, an ostensibly neutral Ireland was sharing weather intelligence with the Allies, but not the Nazis. This led to Eisenhower postponing the D-Day invasion, ensuring success and saving the lives of many Allied soldiers. Similarly, the Irish government ordered huge stones saying "Air" to be erected off the Irish coastline. Each sign had a special number, making them invaluable for navigation, but these numbers were only supplied to the Allies. Why would a Hitler-loving nation do that?
I will not hear in the 21st century the descendants of the Hitler lovers in Ireland.
To reiterate, he's ignoring all the evidence postulating that because we hate you, Britain, that means we loved them, which clearly wasn't the case.
It's a provisional IRA who put bombs on trains as I was growing up in London, who blew up pubs in Birmingham, who shot people through the back of the head for being Protestant.
I know you've just demonstrated your historic ineptitude, but it's genuinely hilarious to hear a British man crying about Catholics discriminating against Protestants. I must have forgotten the history lesson where the Irish Catholics invaded England. Have we just forgotten about penal laws, where Britain tried to make Catholicism illegal, the death penalty for Catholic priests who practice in their ministry? Are we just forgetting the IRA had a resurgence in the 1960s because of discrimination against Catholics? Douglas Murray is engaging in cry-bully behaviour on a historic scale. Oh no, they're retaliating against centuries of oppression and discrimination. Before closing off, I want to raise one more point about Irish history during World War II. And this point could be used by people like Douglas Murray to spin a narrative and propaganda that we were Hitler lovers. But the Irish people gave nearly 2 million in food and clothing to Germany after World War II, despite facing deprivation themselves. Noticed as the first and highest of all donating nations. As part of Operation Shamrock, almost 500 German children were taken in by Irish families. It should be pretty obvious for anyone with a modicum of intelligence, but just to dispel any further attempts of rewriting history, no, the Irish weren't extremely generous because they loved Hitler. They did it because the Irish were and are a kind people. As long as you don't colonize us, you dumb fuck.